Deixa eu caçar no livro onde eu parei, onde foi que eu parei no vídeo passado, na minha leitura aqui em língua inglesa, né? E a partir de agora eu vou tentar me expressar aqui em língua inglesa, né? Tentar falar alguma coisa para a gente conseguir aprender. Okay, let's start to say something in English here in this video. And so I have to find the specific page that I stopped at the last video. Let's see. I think the chapter is the chapter number 4. Chapter number 4, Methodical History of Language Teaching, page 47. 47. All right. Okay. It's a playlist about English, okay, because it's my focus here, and the book that I have used here is it Teaching by Principles: An Interactive Approach to Language Pedagogy. It's the book. It's an old book, but I know it's a really important book. We have new books about this, but this edition, it's very old, 1994, but we have new editions. Let's read the page number 48 about approach, method, and technique, the difference between the approach, method, and technique. I'm talking about this a lot in the last videos, the last 4 or 5 videos, just talking about the difference, because it's the beginning here in this video. The difference, we have to know the difference. Approach, it's a kind of philosophy, a kind of base, theory base. Method, it's a kind of overall plan for systematic representation of language based upon a select approach. If you have to select approach, a kind of philosophy, the next step is to see or to choose. I don't know how can I say this in English. To escolher, to choose the method. And so the last thing here we have the technique, are the specific activities manifested in the classroom that are inconsistent with a method and therefore in the harmony of an approach as well. And so let's try to read and so the texts about this. Though their reformulation, Richards and Rogers made 2 principal contributions to our understanding of the concept of method. Here we have a new concept about approach, method, and techniques, because the authors gave new concepts, but the idea, I think it's the same, just the name. The name are changed. First, they specify the necessary elements of language teaching design that had heretofore been left somewhat vague. There's a schematic representation of method. Reveals 6 important features of design's objective syllables, criteria for selection and organization of linguistic and subject matter content, activities, learners' roles, teachers' roles, and the role of instructional materials. The letter 3 features have significant proportions of our collective attention in the profession for the last decade or so. Already in this book, you may have noted how, for example, learners' roles, styles, individual references for a group or individual learning students' input in determining curricular content are important consideration in your teaching. Okay, so it's the first, the specifications of necessary elements of language teaching design here, the new concepts here. And so I think the second paragraph I'm going to try to read in the next video. It's in English, and it's very important to know here that I would like to develop my English just reading and trying to speak in here in this video something, because for me it's difficult because I don't use an English in my day. It's not common for me. My language, my original language is Portuguese from Brazil, and so I speak Portuguese, and I don't use an English in my day. I don't use English in anything, and so it's not easy, because I think if you want to develop or if you want to know some language, you have to use. You really have to use, not just study. I think it's not enough. And so here in my mind, I try to develop my English thinking about four skills, 4 abilities. Let me say for you these abilities. The number one, you can reading something in English, okay, in English or Spanish or other language that you want to know. Reading, like I'm doing right now, just reading the text. So the second skill, you can try to speak, like I'm doing right now here. It's not easy, but we can try. And third skill is about listening. You can listen in something in English or another language. And the fourth, it's about writing. You can writing letter or something like this, or writing text. And so we have to know something about grammar too. And here we have 4 skills: listening, writing, speaking, and reading. So now I'm going to try to reading, because my focus here is English, but reading in English. And so I think it's important for me to develop, or to help me to develop languages in my mind. I have to reading something in another languages. And here let's try to read something in Italian language. The book that I'm going to try to read here, the small text, just a simple and small text, because my focus here, let me say this again, my focus here it's English, and I used in other languages because I don't know Spanish, I don't know Italian, I really don't know German, but it's nice for my mind to kind of unlock some specific ability in my mind to develop the languages. And how parliamo la nostra lingua, it's the name of book here. We have a special photo in here, Florence. It's a special place for me because I went there some years ago. And so parliamo la nostra lingua, it's a old book, 1971. It's about grammar. Capitolo 1, la grammatica e lo supparte. Grammatica, lessico, ortoepia, ortografia, fonologia. Let's talk about fonologia, or I don't know if the correct pronunciation is fonologia or fonologia. I think it's fonologia. L'insieme della ortoepia e dell'ortografia costituisce la fonologia. Pertanto quella parte della grammatica che si occupa dei suoni, delle parole e dei segni grafici corrispondenti si chiama fonologia. And so here the small text, it's about the phonology. And here in this text, I think the traduction here is the teaching of ortografia, the orthography, it's phonology. Let me say if I know. I think I don't know. I think I can't to say this in English, but in Portuguese I think it means. Portanto, aquela parte da gramática que se ocupa do som da palavra e do significado gráfico corresponde, ou então se chama fonologia. Eu acredito que seja mais ou menos isso. Então, let's read this in Italian again. L'insieme della ortoepia, della ortografia costituisce la fonologia. Pertanto, quella parte della grammatica che si occupa dei suoni, delle parole e dei segni grafici corrispondenti si chiama fonologia. Okay, it's enough for today. Just we read some paragraph or some words in Italian. I think it's enough. Let's try to read something in Spanish now. Let me say this again, my folks. Here it's English. I just use English to read other things or try to explain other things in another languages. It's a kind of challenge for my mind. And so the Spanish by Images, it's an old book, but I like this book because here we have a lot of images. And so, at the end of the page we have the phonetic transcription, and I think it's nice to try to read something in Spanish. Let me see what is the page that I stopped at in the last video. Tengo dos manos, son mis manos. Es la mano derecha, es la mano derecha, es la mano izquierda, es la mano derecha, es la mano izquierda. Usted tiene dos manos, son sus manos. Es la mano derecha, es la mano izquierda, es la mano derecha, es la mano izquierda. Tengo dos sombreros. Sorry, let me see something in my mobile here. Okay. Because I control the video here. The app. Tengo dos sombreros, son mis sombreros. Tengo un sombrero en la mano derecha, tengo un sombrero en la mano izquierda. Izquierda. The son of Z. Izquierda. Él tiene dos sombreros, son sus sombreros. Tiene un sombrero en la mano derecha, tiene un sombrero en la mano izquierda. Derecha, cha, cha, derecha, cha, cha. Like the sound in Portuguese, chao, chao, cha, cha. Izquierda, izquierda, su sombrero, sombrero. Let's read something more. 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences in Spanish, and I think it's enough for today. As una mujer, let's see the new word here. Pondrá, pon, pulso, pulso. Es una mujer, tiene un sombrero en la mano. Es una mujer, tiene un sombrero en la mano. La mujer pondrá el sombrero en la mesa. La mujer pondrá el sombrero en la mesa. I think it's the correct, I don't know. La mujer pondrá el sombrero en la mesa. Poner el sombrero, the verb put. In Portuguese, o verbo pôr. Pone el sombrero en la mesa. Poner el sombrero en la mesa. Puso el sombrero en la mesa. Puso el sombrero en la mesa. Puso el sombrero en la mesa. I think it's enough for today because we don't have time to record a lot of minutes here in this video. And let's try to reading something. Let's try to reading something in German. I really don't know German. It's totally unknown for me. But we have to know use the phonetic. Let me say here, we have in the beginning of the book, it's the book, the German by images, like Spanish by images, because the collection here, the English by images, the German by images, the French by images, and the Spanish by images, we can see here. It's nice. And so we have vowels totally different, totally no, but some vowels different, because in Portuguese we have maybe seven vowels, and here in German we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 vowels. Man, it's totally crazy. So in this day, we just know to see the first and the second vowel. The first and the second vowel in German, okay? Very, very slowly, just to know, because I really don't know German. It's totally unknown for me. 21 vowels. It's unbelievable. Let's say the first vowel. I think it's the same vowel in Portuguese and English. Man. A, like in fato. Fato in Portuguese. A, breve como em fato. A, it's a kind of vowel A, but very short. A, breve como em fato. Então, and so, let's see an example here. Man. The word man. M-A-N-N. M-A-N-N. Double N. Man. Other example. Cart. Okay, it's the first vowel. I think it's the same in Portuguese and in English. Okay, second vowel here we have a letter A, or A, it's not short, A, in Portuguese A, or A, longo como em sala. It's different from fato. It's in the letter A in the first example, it's short. Sala, wagen. The first example, wagen. The second example, var, 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 var. And so I think it's enough for today. We saw, or we read just 2 vowels from German. The first vowel, a, like fato, and second vowel, a, like sala, man, wagen, man, wagen. The next video, we're gonna see maybe 2 vowels again. And so here, thank you for watching this video. In the next video, I'm going to try to reading something in English, and something in Italian, in Spanish, and in German. Bye bye. And every Friday I try to record something in this channel. Thank you.